What's going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here if you're new to the channel. I make daily Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Charlotte Hornets and who they should draft. We're going to talk about two prospects that the Charlotte Hornets should draft in the 2023 NBA draft. Now, the reason I say two is because they specifically have two first-round picks. One is theirs, lottery protected, which they suck right now, so we know that they're going to get that. And then the other one is the Denver Nuggets. I think that one's lottery protected, but the Denver Nuggets are good, even if they never have their starting lineup at one time. They are still really good, so that pick is probably going to be like 26 to 30 or something like that. No problem whatsoever. A first-round pick is a first-round pick, especially in a draft class like this. So what I'm going to do is just go to Tankathon, as you can see, and then I'm just going to send a lottery, and whatever they give us, I'm just going to talk about that player. So let me know if I should do this weekly, if I should do it, bi-weekly, monthly, however you want me to do it. That's how I'll do it. I'm going to bring more draft content to the channel just because, one, I really actually do love the NBA draft, and two, the Charlotte Hornets aren't good, and I'm tired of sitting here talking about how bad they are. So I'm trying to switch it up a little bit. So yeah, just let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I'm not going to be like, oh, this guy's a better fit, this guy's a better fit, because I plan to do this video multiple times throughout the course of the rest of the season. So I'm going to literally try to sell you on the guy they give us. So I know a lot about a majority of these guys, if not all of these guys. So I think I should be good, hopefully. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so we're simming the lottery, and they give us the Charlotte Hornets fall to 5th. Okay, so that we knew that was a possibility. As you saw, they had the #1 odds, or tied for #1 odds, and then they put the Charlotte Hornets down to 5th, where they end up taking Nick Smith Jr. So Nick Smith Jr. was a top 3 pick at one point. So I'm not mad at it whatsoever. I think Nick Smith Jr. is going to be really good. He's dealing with some injuries right now, and that's the one thing that's concerning about him, is that he continues to be injured. But when he's on the floor, he is really good. So even after his first injury, I think it was like an ankle, he came back for Arkansas, played amazingly. I really liked what I saw from him, and like I said, he was fresh off an injury. So the fact that he came back and was that good was insane to me. He looked like one of the best players in the country. So I really like everything that Nick Smith Jr. can do, especially the fact that while he is like a point guard / shooting guard, he can move. He moves very, very well without the ball. In fact, I have another channel called Draft Nerds. I'll link the video or the channel down in the comment section below, where I did a video about Arkansas in general, because of the fact that they have 3 guys who could go in the top and go in the first round, and then they really have like 5 guys who can go in the first round. Now, at that time, it was only 3. Now it's like 5, maybe even 6. I don't know. Arkansas is very talented. Trevon Brazil is hurt, so he's a guy that also could have went in the first round, but that's a topic for another day. Nick Smith Jr. was like the #3 or #2 guard in the recruiting class, and Arkansas is just extremely deep. But like I said, what I like about Nick Smith Jr. is how well he moves without the ball. He does have a little mid-range game. He is like a tenacious defender. He's not one of those guys that's gonna lock you up, but he's one of those guys that's gonna give a lot of effort, similar to what we see from Dennis Smith Jr., where we see him lock people up, but a lot of the time he is very just active, and that makes the ball handling uneasy. Nick Smith Jr. can do just that. Maybe not to the range that Dennis Smith Jr. can, but that's gonna be confusing if they actually do get Nick Smith Jr., but it's the same thing. It's just, as far as he is just a tenacious defender. He's not gonna let anything come easy for you if you're the ball handler. So I really like Nick Smith Jr. 6'5". He can play great next to LaMelo. The fast breaks are gonna be insane because he's really good on the break as well. Extremely athletic. I think this will be a good pick. Not mad at it whatsoever. And like, based on how the lottery shook out in this case, I don't see anyone after him that I think the Hornets should have got outside of Cam Whitmore. And we'll talk about Cam Whitmore another time if we land on him. It depends. But yeah, outside of Cam Whitmore, and Cam Whitmore at one point was a top 3 pick as well. So, and he had injury issues, but been amazing ever since. So now we're gonna move to the 2nd pick of the first round, and that is to the 26th pick, and it's Kobe Jones. So Kobe Jones is really good in my opinion. He plays for Xavier. They just beat UConn a couple of days ago, which UConn was like the #2 team in the country, and a lot of that was because of Kobe Jones. I don't mind clicking on it. So when I click on it, it changes like the draft order or draft odds or whatever, and then it just resets. But this is the last prospect, so it is what it is. But Kobe Jones, 6'6" shooting guard. He's a junior, so he's older. However, I like that for this team because we see that they have so many young guys, so many just really young guys, and they come in and are ready to play. Well, we need, at this point, we need to stop getting people who aren't ready to play and get guys who can contribute right away. Even if it's contributing to a team that's not that good yet, you can eventually be good. Desmond Bane, a guy that was ready to contribute right away, and nobody knew how good the Grizzlies would actually be, end up being really good. So I think that, and I'm not saying Kobe Jones is going to be Desmond Bane or anything like that. What I'm saying is just that the Hornets need to start picking people who are ready to play, because right now drafting all these guys who aren't ready to play and then just waiting is just not, it's not working. That idea is just not working. So they need to find something new. Getting a guy like Kobe Jones who literally can do it all and just poised is, I think that would be a good pickup. As you can see, he has strengths and everything, and I think this is more so based off stats. It's not really based off like, oh, this is what we see. But I mean, watching him play, he's literally good at everything. So as you see, he's a 45% three-point shooter, and obviously you expect that to go down, but he's taking 3 attempts at 45%. So you would imagine if he took 5, maybe he'll be at 40%, 38%, which is really good, because like I always say, the Charlotte Hornets need some shooters, not people who can shoot. There's a difference. And I think that he, like I said, he does a little bit of everything. He can play off ball, he can play on ball. Similar to Nick Smith Jr., would not be mad whatsoever with having both, because you can have a backup. You finally would have that backup guy who can really make some noise off the bench. I feel like, because some people say it was Kelly Oubre, and I think Kelly Oubre, great scorer. However, he's inconsistent. He's not really good with the ball in his hands. It's more of a catch and shoot. It's more of a dribble handoff. Now, he's been a lot better this season as far as just getting to the basket. At one point he was one of the better mid-range shooters in basketball, period. So I'm not saying that he can't do it, but I think a guy like Kobe Jones, if you have him with Dennis Smith Jr. who can play defense, and Kobe Jones is not bad at defense either. So you have that kind of 1-2 punch off the bench. I think that would really help this team a lot. So you have a guy that can lock up the other team's best guard, and you have another guy who on turn around on the offensive end can maybe run the offense. And we know Dennis Smith Jr. can, play off the ball. We know that he's a fantastic cutter. We know he's an athlete. I think these two will pair very well. Kobe Jones is not as much of an athlete as Dennis Smith Jr. is, but Kobe Jones is a guy that's just very poised. He plays the game the right way, and by that I just mean that you could tell that he just has something about him, the way he carries himself on the court. It's just nothing's rushed. He does what he needs to do, and that's why his splits look the way they do. And similar to Nick Smith Jr., like I said, he can move off the ball as well, and that's very important considering we do have LaMelo Ball at the end of the day who can play off ball. So having multiple guards that can just switch and flop that role based on lineups, based on matchups, I think that's a really good thing to have. So I'm not upset at the Hornets with getting 2 guards in this draft, in this case scenario where they got Nick Smith Jr. and Kobe Jones. Not mad at it whatsoever. I don't really know what we're doing with the forward position anyway, and we have way too many centers at this point to draft another young center. If anything, I would just like to get a vet center. But if that's the role if that's what they want to do, but I don't want to draft another center. Plus, this draft class isn't really made for centers. There's some centers in here for sure, but none of them are to the point where you rather have them over Mark Williams or anything like that. So yeah, I really like this pick. This is a draft where the Hornets should not trade their second first-round pick. They should keep it and use it. If anything, maybe trade or use up. If you really wanted a guy like Brandon Miller or something, who is a fantastic player, then fine. Maybe you can some way find a way to package the 5th pick in this case, and then this pick, and then move up to get Brandon Miller, who's projected to go like top 3, top 4. So I wouldn't have a problem with that. But if you're just trading it to trade it, kind of like what they did this year with the Jalen Duren pick, because it could have been anybody of all those guys I like. They still traded that pick, and I didn't like that. I think you should keep it, because this one is a deep draft class. 2, you can still find guys like Kobe Jones this late in the first round, and then I think they have a 2nd-round pick as well. So yeah, that does it for this video. Let me know if I should do this more. Like I said, I'm not really going to pick. At some point I'm going to do that, but this is just for fun. And so as of right now, I'm gonna just let Tankathon decide who we pick, and I'll explain every guy from there. And if I don't cover everyone by the end, I definitely plan on doing like real draft content by the end of the season, talking about the Charlotte Hornets. If you want to see like objective draft content that's not about the Hornets, like I said, I have the description down below for my other channel called Draft Nerd. The draft is one of my favorite parts. Trust the Buzz, if you're one of the OGs, you remember Trust the Buzz was supposed to be a draft channel, and it didn't turn out that way, because on draft night, the Hornets made that trade, and I came on here and talked about it, and that was supposed to be like a draft thing, but then it turned out to be a Charlotte Hornets thing, and I'm glad because you guys are amazing. So thanks so much for watching the videos. I plan to keep kicking out content for you, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.